And we are back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review or unpopular opinion while trying to watch my mouth. Yes, we'll see how this goes because I know I won't be watching my. I know I'll be watching my mouth. I'm not sure about Mrs. Best.
I'm gonna, yes, I will watch my mouth because this is old. These people, the subject of this live is tired.
When I tell you, I so I want to shout out to my girl Jim Bunny 1984 for joining us. She finally caught a live, y'all. I am so happy to see her. Hi, Jim Bunny. Thank you so much for being here with us this Saturday. We appreciate you. So, if you haven't read what our unpopular opinion topic is going to be today, well, let me go ahead and read it out to you. But first, let me shout out my girl Mrs. Best as well, because I didn't even say what's up to her. Mrs. Best, what's up to her? Hey, how you doing? My
Hello.
best friend in the whole wide world.
My
Yes.
husband's getting ready for work, so that's why I keep going off camera. Apologies.
No problem. We got you. We know we all doing life right now. So we got you. Shout out to Mr. Oso Best out there.
Oh.
So let's see here. So the caption is, and I have a quotation mark under Monique's name. I'll edit that out later. It says, should Monique let it go or keep the foot on their necks? That is unpopular opinion. So for those of y'all who do not know what this is about, I don't know how y'all don't know about this, but let's go ahead and explain. So, comedian Monique, most famously known for The Parkers, which is a spinoff of Moesha that aired around 2000 to about 2004 ish. She took on a career as a stand up comedian and has been very successful. And she's been doing stand up, she has been doing movies, mainly appearing as the funny person. So, in about 2008, 2009, she took on a new role, which is to be in the drama category of movies. And then she did the movie Precious, which was actually um, portrayed by a book. I forgot what the name of the book is called, and I read it too, which is crazy. I'm forgetting that right now. But directly, Lee Daniels was the person responsible for producing and directing this film. Now, Monique has said publicly that she agreed to do the film for the amount of $50,000. That is what she agreed to. She wasn't taking a penny less or a penny more. Now, for those of you who do not know how movie business works, once you shoot a film, they ask of the actors, which is supposed to be in your contract, and apparently this was not in her contract, that you're supposed to promote said movie. Now, there are parameters and limitations on where you go to promote it. A lot of people just do US based streams where you go to either New York or LA and do news channel interviews, which I believe she has done. But there are also times where you may have to go overseas. Now, directly, if it's not in your contract to go overseas, what usually happens is if there is money from the production or money from the budget that has not been used, that money most of the time goes to, you know, you going out overseas to promote the movie if it's not in the US. So Monique had decided, because they were willing to pay for her to go overseas. And when I say they, I'm mentioning Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey. They were not willing to pay for her to go to the UK to promote the film. So she respectfully declined. And you would have thought that would have stopped there. But as time went on, we saw less and less of Monique. And when it came down to it, maybe 5 years, and this was after her Oscar, when she also won an Oscar for this movie. So she's an Oscar winning actress at this point, but we have not seen much of her. So she had put it out there that they have blackballed her. And when I mean by they, she is talking about Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. She is throwing all of them out there. Now, another thing I want to mention is that this beef between these four people, three against the one, has gone on for over 15 years now. And every year, dating back to when this started, Monique has infamously brought up this beef and has continuously dragged all three of these people, high famous people, may I add. These are huge people in the industry today. She has drugged them through the mud. And it seems like every year she continues to tell this story. So recently, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is recently she is on tour with Cat Williams and she did a stand up show. So I'm going to play exactly what she said. I'm trying to wait for YouTube to get a couple minutes in first before I actually start talking about this more, because what she said would not get me monetized. Not that I'm up for that anyway, but if the time does come, I would love my chance to be monetized.
Listen, don't
Like,
do
comment,
like me.
yeah, like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Tell friends. We need to get me monetized here, people. Come on, share the video. But we're gonna go ahead and play what she said because I really don't feel like this is gonna be the video that I get monetized in anyway. So we're just gonna go ahead and play this.
Now some niggas got scared. They was like, you going too far, bitch. I love that black raggedy bitch. I love that black simple-minded motherfucker. I love Oprah Winfrey's black ass. And we just need to bring her back to black. We need to bring that bitch back to motherfucking black. Are you an Oprah Winfrey fan? Yes. Okay, well, I'm not apologizing. For any motherfucking thing I say. What's your name, brother? Bill. What did he say? Melvin. We need you to help us bring that bitch back to black. I need you to bend her the fuck over and fuck her like a Nashville, Tennessee nigga would and bring that bitch back to black. Oh, bitch, be quiet. You gonna get some money out of this shit.
Oh.
And every time you see fucking you see fucking gay. Best friends. That's what they say. I've never seen best friends like that. We ain't seen Stephanie in 30 motherfucking years. Who is loving Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King? Each other! But we don't want to say the shit out loud because it's Oprah fucking Winfrey. I'm too motherfucking old to be scared of this bitch. I'm too old to be intimidated by this bitch. I'm too old to hold the motherfucking truth. You know why I fuck with Oprah Winfrey, Melvin? Because that bitch tried to fuck with me privately. Well, I'm a public bitch. You tried to fuck with me behind closed doors. Bitch, open the door up. Ding dong.
All right. So, shout out to You Gotta See This, SHI exclamation point. Oh. Sorry, y'all. It still is playing in my ear. But yeah, shout out to You Gotta See This, SHI exclamation point T for capturing this lovely moment of Monique, or reposting, however that was done. We appreciate you. We cite our sources on Mrs. Best's channel and Watch Your Mouth Reviews. So we cite our sources. So yeah. That was a lot. That was too much for me. That was too much for me. That was too much for me in the sense where I don't feel like the anger is really directed to the lack there of your career. I feel like the anger is that you don't know how to attack them without it taken away from your bread and butter. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. There's something she said about Tyler Perry too, and I'm gonna play that in just a second. But I feel like for me, that was going too far, and I was doing way too much. It just was. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna play what she said about Tyler Perry, and then we're gonna have a full-on discussion of where I stand with my unpopular opinion, and then we're gonna ask Mrs. Best about her unpopular opinion, and I want you guys to comment your unpopular opinion. Do you think Monique should let it go or keep the foot on their necks? So she also went on Shannon Sharp's podcast that he has here on YouTube as well to kind of talk about, what happened. And she said something interesting about Tyler Perry. Let me hold on, make sure I get it. Okay. Okay, I got it. Perfect.
Perry called us up, right? And he said, I can see the pain in you and I can hear it. And I want to let you know that I would never do nothing to hurt you. But the conversation kept going on, only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied only for Tyler Perry to admit I was wrong. And when my movie Boo come out, I'm going to say that, right? Now, here's where, when you did that interview with Kat, I could respect how you do it. Because Kat said, you let them people lie in your face. And your response was, Kat, I don't know if they're lying or not.
Right.
Because I can only take them at their word.
At the word.
Right?
Yes.
Well, we sent you the audio of Tyler Perry. I don't want you to take me at my word. I want you to hear his words. And what did you hear that man saying? What did you hear that man saying?
He said it.
What did he say?
So, I just want to say this.
Hi.
Hi, Shayna. Thank you for joining us, love. So, I'm not going to play this commercial, John. I'm not going to play this interview, but I was going to say the things that she says about Tyler Perry in that video, because it goes on, is that he, I guess in a private conversation with her, admitted that he had a stop in her career by saying she was difficult. Now, we all know we've had many actresses in this world come on into the world and say, if you categorize a Black woman as difficult, Hollywood takes that as a strike to her to not book her for certain gigs. And in terms of you, I guess for most people, if you do make a living of this, it could be a moment to where only a few months go by and then you end up broke and your career ends up gone. I think Janice Huber from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was probably another good example of this, because her aggressive comment happened in the 90s, where it took Will Smith to 2021 when he had that reunion, 2021, 2022.
It took way too long.
It took way too long for him to not only address it, but then to apologize publicly of having that woman's career at a standstill stop. I mean, yeah, you did see her in little things here and there. You did. But that woman at that time was a dancer who already had a prominent career before going on that show. So just imagine you having your career, like Monique was an already established comedian and had a huge name, even after doing the movie Precious, to where you didn't hear from her anymore. You would see her here and there on certain projects. So then it gets me to wonder, when I have my own unpopular opinion, is, do I feel like she should let this go? Or should she keep attacking them the way she's doing? Now, I don't agree with either or, because I don't think she should necessarily let this go, but I don't think she should necessarily attack these people the way that she's doing it. I feel that there is a better way. I do. I feel that there is a better way to do this. And I feel like she's taking the very boisterous route, which kind of proves the point of what they're saying at the end of the day. So I think she's stabbing her own self in the foot, and is in her own way. That's my honest opinion about it. I think that for me, I have had jobs to where I felt like when it came for me to want to get a promotion, my supervisor would say things like, oh, well, he is overly confident. I think he's arrogant. I think he's this. I think he's that, which would then put a pause in someone to not want to go forward with me, because that makes it seem like I'm hard to deal with. I've had that happen to me as well. So I get where I honestly, I understand what she is saying. I do. And I think it is unfair. But at the same time, how you're handling it, and you continuously bringing this up in the media, I feel like it's not doing the justice that you think it's going to do. I just don't. So, Mrs. Best, I want to hear your opinion.
It's pretty much the same. I mean, this is their job, regardless on how traditional or not it is. Listen, if you feel away, go to court, because if they genuinely said things or started rumors and things like that made it difficult for you to work, to be blackballed, and this has been publicly admitted by Lee Daniels. You say that there's a recording of Tyler Perry. Instead of giving all the information to the public, who already is looking at you crazy, because when people talk a lot, or when people are hell-bent on getting the truth out there, everyone else kind of views them as drama. It's like, I know you can read comments. I know you see these things. You're choosing to ignore it. I do believe Monique. There's nothing that she's been proven to be a liar on. But her way about going, just the way she's going about it is off. Cassie could have been crying to the press all of the things that she alleged that Diddy did, but she quietly got a really, really good attorney and got paid out over $30 million allegedly. So
it was more than that.
Monique, you got Tyler Perry, who's a billionaire, and Oprah Winfrey, who's also a billionaire. And they have done you wrong. And you have public people and other public figures who have sided with you, and you have receipts. That counts as workplace harassment. Blackballing someone. You can sue for that, especially here in California. You can sue for that. So I wish that she would go about it differently. If she stopped thinking with emotion and took the time to logically think over the problem, like I wouldn't get over it either, because they probably cost her millions of dollars with what they did. But sometimes you have to move in silence until you can't be silent anymore. And I think that Monique struggles with that. She's always putting her foot in her own mouth doing that. She doesn't know when to be quiet and when to be still. And if she did that, she'd be okay. So I want her to shut the hell up and get an attorney. You know, please get an attorney, because what Oprah did to you, what Tyler Perry did to you, for us regular citizens who aren't making millions, like, no shade, Monique, but we can only care so much. So get you an attorney and sue their ass if there's a problem. But then I know if she sue their ass, then they might sue her back for her husband's alleged behavior. So I don't know, but we don't need to hear about it anymore. And that was a lot at that comedy set. I know the audience was probably like,
I couldn't have sat there through that and just think, like, to me, and this is why I understand what people are saying when people are trying to put ethnicity of like Black people. Oh, you're acting white and all this. I get y'all want to put a facade against that, but I want y'all to understand something. Theoretically, that means absolutely nothing but ignorance. I just want y'all to understand that when you say, "Oh, somebody, oh, he acting white," or "That girl, she whitewashing him," that means absolutely nothing. I just want y'all to understand that. So when people say that, the ignorance isn't the person who's acting white. The ignorant is actually you for saying that. Because society should not see us in a way where we can't come in all different forms of education in the mindset. That's probably the problem now with these kids coming up now today.
Monique is tripping. It's really this simple. Monique needs to do like the crackheads do in Walmart, slip and fall and come up on your lawsuit. I'm trying to tell you, that's what she needs to do. I have no shame in my game. I'm not trying to be an actress or anything. If Oprah played me for my money, as Jen said in the comments, is I'm saying sue them for lost wages, sue them for harassment, sue them for what is that that they always say, slander, defamation of character. She has so many potential lawsuits. It's weird that she chooses to come to us
because I feel like there's a clause in one of them contracts that said that she cannot do that.
There has to be. There has
to be a clause in the contract that says that she cannot publicly sue these people for any internal gain of whatever, which defamation and all that falls under. There has to be, because I thought the same thing. Sue them. Like Jim Bunny says, sue them. But I feel like she signed something where she cannot. Against, I think, more so Lee Daniels and Oprah, because they were behind the pressure.
But she could still get a lawyer who's smart to tell her, hey, because I have cousins who are lawyers. One of my cousins is an entertainer.
No, she has ways around it.
Tell them to have her sue them anyway, even though they know it won't go nowhere, because then it's made public and then they're going to either be triggered to want to settle it or they're going to have to address it in some way. But either way, I think we're all agreeing she should not be doing this on comedy shows, especially when it's a platform that was taken away from you for so long. You know, maybe don't use what you just got back as a way to come after the people who caused you to lose what you have. It sucks, but that is just the way it is. Lord, right? They could find a loophole. Jim Bunny feels it. You feel me? She could find a loophole of something.
I think she has a loophole. I think she's focused on the wrong person.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think she's focused on the wrong person, which is Oprah. I would go after the person who said it and you have a recording of, because there's no I don't think she's ever done one of his movies, if I'm not mistaken. Has she done a
No,
Tyler Perry movie? I don't believe she
I don't
has.
think
So
so.
if she has not done a Tyler Perry movie and has no direct affiliation with Tyler Perry, that's who I would go after because you stopped my career. So I'm going after you.
The
I
other
wouldn't
thing
go.
too, the way that he casts his movie, he don't even like to do things the traditional way. So I feel like because of that, he might be easier to go after. Tyler
I don't even
Perry.
think it's not a matter of about going easy. It's a matter of that you would say something to that extent, and I have proof that you said it, and then I'm not acting on it, but I'm going on interviews. When I tell you, like when I heard the Shannon Sharp, I didn't watch the Shannon Sharp interview when it came out. I didn't because I felt like I got tired of hearing this story. So when this came out on the first of TMZ putting this out, I was like, okay, let me watch this interview because I felt like she was more manured or mellow when she was talking about this. I was like, oh my God, you have a recording of him actually saying that he told people you were difficult and stopped your career? And yet
Right.
you have no, like, to me, I don't know. Maybe there's something that she's not saying that she cannot talk about, but she's saying everything else. So that's why I'm like, it's weird. It's like, Monique, go after the person who did it and stop dragging Oprah and Lee along for the fight. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I feel like. That's what I feel like. I feel like I would go after the person who did it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what would make sense too.
Yeah, because I feel like she's about to. I hate for this. I would hate for this to happen to her, but I feel like she's going to sink again. I do. I feel like she is going to sink into a hole that she can't get out of if she continues down this route. Because nobody's going to want to work with her if they're going to continue. You going after people who are pretty much like, I don't want to say the black hopes of the world, because I don't want to put that on them like that. Because I don't, maybe Oprah, but not definitely Lee Daniels and not Tyler Perry. I don't put them as black hope. Like a black hope to me was Kobe Bryant. That was a black hope to me. So I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like she's doing this all wrong. In the perfect world, I will want her to let it go, but at the same time, I want her to go after who did it.
Yeah.
I do. I want her to go after who did it.
I also just want to put out there, I don't think that her husband is. You're supposed to have a spouse that's on your side, yes, but you're also supposed to have a spouse and partner that talks reason into you. And I feel like her husband's also a slight part of the problem. I don't know how. I'm not going to allude to how, but he just something about him. Every time I see him speak or in interviews, the energy that I receive from him is disruptive for me. So I don't know. I feel like there's something off with the husband. There's a lot going on, but we're in the time of cancel culture. Everything's coming out, people getting sued. I'm convinced that there's like a slew of NDAs that are expiring throughout Hollywood or something that's happening. But whatever's going on, everything that goes in the dark will come to the light. And I think that there's a lot that Monique
I
is
do too.
holding
I think
back.
there's more to this story. I think there's honestly more to this story, and maybe on both sides of it, like Monique and then Lee, Oprah, and Tyler. I think that there's more to this story that they're not. Neither party is saying. I have not heard Oprah speak a word about Monique since this has happened. I have not heard Tyler Perry speak about Monique since this has happened. Lee Daniels did publicly apologize. He did. He did publicly apologize, and they did have a moment of hug. And then, if I'm not mistaken, that horror movie that she did, isn't that Lee Daniels' film?
Yes.
Okay. So, which I feel like she shouldn't have did, because that just made her look like a joke. If y'all have not seen the reading, I will do it on my channel when I get my equipment. Y'all need to go see that movie because that movie made her look ridiculous. And I felt like that was a poke, like, ha ha, like, you know, I got me a good monkey for the show. That's what that looked like to me.
Damn.
So I'm just saying, because that movie did not do any favors for her at all. That movie was terrible. And there's no way I would have agreed. Maybe when she read the script, maybe because sometimes it's happened, y'all. I've seen this too, where a script, when it's written, looks absolutely amazing. But when it translates into film, you're like, okay, that's night and day. What the hell just happened? Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But yeah. I just feel like that wasn't the move. I was mad at Lee Daniels for doing this because I think he knew. But I mean, as an author myself, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes visions could look transpired. Like sometimes they could look beyond your belief. So I don't know. But I just know that there's no way I'm taking after I didn't fell out with you for so many years, and then I work with you again, and then I do the film. There's no way I know she watched that movie and go, "Oh yeah, I did that. I did that." There's no way I know she didn't do that. Come on. And Monique, if you have done the Come On Watch Your Mouth Review channel, I will interview you too. I can't pay you.
Was
I'm
it
not
that bad of a movie? I didn't watch it just because, honestly, for me, with horror movies, scary movies, they all kind of start to feel the same unless there's like those special, special movies. But that's
so
sad that your
okay, but
comeback
here's the thing.
is not good.
Because I am a writer, I could tell the context of what that movie could have been would have been, I mean, fantastic. I think film, it translated wrong. And sometimes scripts will do that. That's why I said I really don't think they had a clear vision of what this movie was supposed to be because it ended up being stupid. It had an amazing story, but it ended up being stupid. So I just don't think they knew that it was going to translate into that. That's my honest opinion, y'all. I'm not trying to, take a dig at her career because that's not what I'm here to do. I don't want her taking a
That's
dig
really
at
the
mine.
director's fault. They're supposed to execute the script and all that stuff. So
No, I think the script was written well. I just think it didn't translate right. Like
that's what I'm saying.
sometimes,
I took a film class for an elective at school because I was trying to avoid math. I was ducking math classes like the plague. But they were teaching us of like the genres and like the duties of each person. And they were saying that the directors are usually the person that's supposed to be responsible for bringing the script and seeing the potential like you saw to life. So if that didn't happen, who directed it? I want to know.
it was a Lee Daniels production. So, I mean, that's why I said.
And that proves the point of what your ass said. Because how you go execute your own vision in an effed up manner? Make it make sense.
I'm just trying to say it to me. I don't know. I don't know. Watching that movie, if this was supposed to be her big comeback to us on the big screen like this, I mean, she's had other movies. I imagine she did. I know she did that Christmas movie. I remember that movie, and I think there was one more somewhere down the line too. But I just feel like if that was supposed to be the comeback after your public apology, Lee Daniels, you wrong for this because that only made her look worse than whatever our vision of her was. I'm like, don't you do this kind of stuff no more.
No shade to him though. A lot of his stuff, I feel like people just hype him up in the community because he's black man and all that. But a lot of his stuff I look at and I'm like, it'd be okay, but I don't get the hype with Lee Daniels Productions. I'll say for me personally.
I feel like I'm not trying to critique his work because I wouldn't want to critique mine like that. But I feel like for me, if I can give like my honest opinion of it, I feel like it starts well, but it doesn't remain consistent.
Yep, that's what it is with
everything. So I feel like everything I've ever seen him do, it has an amazing start, and it's somewhere in the middle, it loses connectivity. And the thing about being an author and about my stuff, because Fraternity Row, the second and third book of it, all relates to the first one. Probably more than it should, but it all relates. You would think that no time has went by, even though it did, because I make sure to keep the characters grounded and make sure they don't change drastically in personality or in traits to where you wouldn't think, oh, I like this person now. No, who you like in the beginning is who you'll like in the end. You'll have moments to where they're going to challenge your intellect, but they're supposed to because that's what characters are supposed to do in film and in books. I have a clear concept of that. Sometimes people who write don't. And that's because people don't study people. I study people too, probably more than I should. Because characteristics and traits and behaviors is what and I know I'm a science major, y'all. I'm not into psychology like that, but the two are supposed to intertwine with each other at some point. So, but yeah, he usually loses me somewhere in the middle of his stuff. And with that movie, that was no exception. So I want into this, because we're going to end and then we're going to go to Mrs. Best's channel. My end to this is this. I want Monique to find a better way to address those three where it would be beneficial to her. If you're going to continue to do this, Monique, I need you to do it in a way to where it does not make you prove their points about you. Because every time you have brought this beef up or reignited this beef out of nowhere, it always makes it seem like, well, their point about you is right. Their point about you is right. No matter what evidence, no matter what proof you have, to me, it always comes across as you're more angry than you need to be, in spite of like what actually happened. Because I would do it the smartest way I could, because we already got targets on us as Black people just in general. We already do. It doesn't help to get 3 more at you. I'm just saying. Mrs. Best, do you have anything you want to add to this?
I just want Monique to be quiet. That's it. I mean, what else can we say?
I don't want her to be quiet. I don't want her to be quiet.
I want her to be quiet publicly. I want her to be singing like a goddamn canary to that attorney. That's what I want. But to us regular people, we can't fix it. So go talk to the people who can fix it.
That's a good point. To us regular people, we can't fix it.
We can't fix it.
No matter how many times, I'm telling you, no matter how many times people stop seeing Madea movies, they still come out. No matter how many times Oprah got a failed show on OWN network, something still comes out.
Another one's coming.
Another one's coming, like another show that's completely out of nowhere. So I feel like, yes, I agree with Mrs. Best. Something is always going to come out of that's because they paved the way for it to happen, which is why I get angry at those individuals just on myself, because I feel like they have enough room on their couches to bring a whole slew of us in who have the talent and can bring even more to their productions, but they continue to only want to have it for themselves. And I have a problem with that just in general, because me, if I had what Tyler Perry had or even Oprah, there's no way that my people who actually have talent, and I know there's a lot of us that do, a lot of people, when I tell you, I come across so many authors and read their materials and go, oh my God, I see this being a movie. I see this being a TV show, but don't get the fair chances because of money. I would change all of that. I'm going to change it when I get my own publishing company. I'm going to change that. I'm going to sponsor, at least when I get it to where it's functioning on its own, I'm going to sponsor at least 10 authors a year, because we all deserve to eat, especially because I know you just need a break. I do too. And when I get my break and when I find it, I'm coming back for all of y'all. I promise. That's it, y'all. That's all that I have. So you guys heard my opinion on should Monique let it go or keep the foot on their necks. I think she should do both, but just in a smarter way. Mrs. Best is kind of saying the same thing. We're kind of landing on the same unpopular opinion. I would love to hear everybody else's unpopular opinion. Where do you think this should go? Because if she ignites this again next year, I'm going to just give up and not even think about it. I'm just going to be like, you know, lady, just give up, because I gave up. I don't even care anymore. But at the same time, look, you can't keep doing this. So, yeah. All right, y'all. But that's it. We're going to go over and head on to Mrs. Best's channels for the Never Ever Mets that is on OWN TV or OWN network. It was the best, and I know we were going to have fun. So if you're not subscribed to my girl, Mrs. Best, her information is in my description box. Subscribe to her channel. Not let it go. Jim Bunny. Yes. Jim Bunny, go ahead and go over to Mrs. Best's channel as well, so we can have you in our audience here. Y'all know y'all my co-host in this channel over here in my comment section. So y'all go over to Mrs. Best's channel, and I'll see you guys on my next recap, which will be Monday for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And yes, I picked up Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I'm going to tell you, Martell Holt fans. Huh?
You're not doing Sunday?
Oh, okay, I can. I forgot what we had talked about, because I know you have a show Monday. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tomorrow will be Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I will be here tomorrow for Love and Marriage Huntsville. First time I'm ever doing it on my channel. And I'm going to tell you, Martell Holt fans, for the last time. You little girls who just think he cute and can't see a flaw in him, I'm not here for y'all. I will block you. I'm not playing. You will be blocked from seeing my content. because I don't have time for y'all. Y'all do too much. So, yes, we'll see you guys on Mrs. Best's channel. Thank you once again. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.